A bomb blast took place somewhere. Well, you don't know who did that, how it happened. But the first thing that will strike in your mind, it is done by some Abdul, some Sarfaraz, or some person with the name Muhammad, right? And this is what is known as Islamophobia. Guys, you're watching Study IQ as English. My name is Pravin Mishra, and here we bring to you the very next video on our program, that is Study IQ Global. So, what actually is Islamophobia? And is it really a reality or just a misconception? So let's understand the whole scenario. And guys, remember, stay tuned with the video where we shall be discussing about the Islamophobia and the existence of Islamic NATO. Well, that is still right now a dreamboat. But yes, the first nail has been put into the coffin with regard to the defense deal that has been signed just September this year between the so-called Napak bloody terrorist state known as so-called Pakistan and Saudi Arabia. Right? So defense deals are being signed between a terror-ridden state, the failed state like bloody Pakistan, and a country which is not socially that developed, but yes, physically developed country like Saudi Arabia. So let's talk about the definition of Islamophobia. The first thing that we need to mark is not the first paragraph, but the third one, that there is no universally accepted definition of Islamophobia. Okay. So guys, what we need to understand, that there is no universally accepted definition of Islamophobia. This basically leads to the debates about the scope of the term, whether we should be going ahead with the criticism of the Islam within the Islamophobia, or is it something else? So the answer lies up ahead in these two paragraphs. So the first thing, it is technically a fear and hatred or technically prejudiced against the Muslims or even the Islam, right? Citing them always as terrorists. And if you see the second paragraph here, the academic work emphasizes that it's not simply dislike, but it is often embedded in structural, cultural, and institutional forms of discrimination against Muslims and Islam. See, the religion of Islam, one of the most purest religion and one of the most divine religion, and a religion that never talks about the promotion of any kind of violence and hatred against individuals. This religion somehow got defamed, unfortunately, because of some, uneducated, illiterate people, those who just had the Islamic name attached with themselves. So they created organizations with the name of Islamic State of Iran, Iraq, Syria, Libya, etc., etc. They created organizations with the name Lashkar, Al-Qaeda, Mujahideen, Jaish-e-Mohammed. So they have used the term Jaish-e-Mohammed. They are defaming the great personalities like Paigambar Muhammad, who is termed as the messenger of God, with all peace and tranquility inscribed in himself. But unfortunately, his name, his theories, his principles, or basically the whole religion of Islam was hijacked by some chunk of people, those who had no clue, no information of Islam. They just used the name of Islam for their personal gains. And hence, as a result, see what has happened. The outcome, the aftermath. The term Islamophobia is now the new phobia of 21st century. And if you see Muslims anywhere, you know it very well that something could be fishy, specifically in the countries like Europe and America. These things are going on. This is not the reality, but a narrative that has been built in our minds, unfortunately. So if we go ahead with the key dimensions, the first dimension of the Islamophobia is the cognition or the ideational. So stereotypes of Muslims have been created as violent, unestimable, and even a threat somehow. Second dimension, affective fear. So basically you have the fear, you have the dislike, you have the anxiety about Islam or even Muslims as civilizational threat, or even as someone coming from a very distinct civilization that is threat to your civilization. And third part, the behavioral or even the structural issue. So what we have seen or what we have experienced, discrimination, harassment, exclusion in law and policy making. And finally, the biggest trouble, the geopolitical thing, linking Muslims or even Islam to terrorism, security threats and radicalism. Well, I'm not saying that the people coming from the terror groups, they haven't used Islam. They have used Islam. Technically, they have hijacked Islam. And hence, as a result, you know that what we call it as, in Hindi, there is a very big phrase, एक गंदी मछली पूरे तालाब को गंदा कर देती है. One rotten apple rips off the whole basket. And this has happened. Some people with the Islamic name has rotten off the whole name and image of Islam globally. As you can see this, a man, a Muslim looking man, right, in some panic, in some fear, is there in a public transport which is filled with people. So he is in panic, and so has created panic into the minds of other people as well. We don't, if generally this thing happened to us in real life, this is what AI generated thing is. But yes, if this thing happens with us in real life, obviously we will create panic. Obviously, we will create ruckus that something is fishy here. We won't go to this guy and will ask that, hey brother, listen, are you in pain? Are you in some trouble? Are you in some distress? Is there any poignance that is troubling you? But no. First thing what we will do is, we will run away and we will raise the alarm, which will ultimately lead to the false alarm system as well. Right? So there is a very wonderful, not wonderful, sorry. There is a very joke as well on the very same part. I'll tell you the joke. I'll share the joke with you. It happened that once a flight was taking off and everyone took the names of their god while the flight was taking off. And there was a guy with this cap sitting in the very same flight, and he just stated Allahu Akbar before the flight took off. And suddenly the takeoff was cancelled on emergency grounds, and this guy was taken into the custody and was interrogated. Well, it's a joke, but sometimes it becomes reality as well. Somehow these idiots, they have defamed the phrase Allahu Akbar. Yes, not all the Muslims, but sometimes we have to understand that these Muslims coming from the countries like Iran, Iraq, Pakistan specifically, साले सब के सब आतंकवादी हैं यहाँ तो, okay, इधर पाकिस्तान के अंदर. But there are Muslims like our Muslims, Indian Muslims, peace-loving Muslims, Muslims within Middle East, the countries of Saudi, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, the peace-loving Muslims, Muslims in UAE. These are the peace-loving Muslims. But the only problem is the Muslims within the countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, and so on. They have just breeded the terrorism, and hence, as a result, the whole name of Islam was defamed because of some chunk of idiots, right? So the problem continues. Okay, guys. So we have to discuss few more of the things that what actually is Islamic NATO. Is it reality or is it a dreamboat? But before that, listen guys, you need to hit the subscribe button of the channel StudyIQ IS English, okay, so that you never miss an update from it. And for the class notes, PDFs, links, quizzes, and further reading material, guys, please scan this QR code and connect with me on my Telegram channel. That is with the channel name Praveen_StudyIQ. So you can go on the search bar and type the channel name and join, or you can simply scan the QR. And you can also connect with me on my Instagram. That is with the username Praveen_Mishra_2107. Right, everyone? So, but yes, first of all, hit the subscribe button and never miss an update from it. And yes, if you are a serious UPSC CSE aspirant, so stay tuned. At the end, we have got a surprise for you. Something great is coming for you that is going to provide you a boost in your UPSC CSE preparation. So, coming to the point, the Islamic NATO. What is it? Suddenly, an airstrike took place in the capital city of Qatar, that is Doha. Make no mistake, guys, Qatar is one of the major non-NATO allies of United States of America. Qatar, which was considered as one of the very safe and sound countries, but suddenly the very next closest ally of America, that is Israel, bombed the city of Doha while an international convention was going on. So as you can see, one close ally of America, that is Israel, has attacked or basically has bombed another close ally of America, that is Qatar, that is the capital city of Doha, specifically when an international convention is going on. So this raised an alarm into the minds of these countries. So as you can see the whole news, in early September 2025, an Israeli strike on Doha, that is the capital city of Qatar, targeted a meeting of Hamas leaders Okay. Well, why I called it as international convention was going on? Just one reason. Because some idiots, they do believe that Hamas is a, what do you say, a very type of a humble, peace-loving, or a type of a, big-hearted organization that is fighting for its independence. Lol. An idiot in our country, that is India only, compared Hamas with the great Bhagat Singh. I mean, how illogical you can be with your approach. How senile you can be with your mind, how naive you can be with your understanding. This has been represented by some idiots in our country, comparing Hamas with great Bhagat Singh, the so-called Buddhijeevi, right? Okay, the so-called rational people with all irrationalities in their minds, right? So what Israel did, obviously Israel is the core big enemy and opponent of a terror group like Hamas. And if Qatar will let them host a meeting in its capital city, obviously Qatar will have to face the consequences, and it has happened. But this raised alarm into the minds of the other states that Qatar, biggest non-NATO ally of United States of America, it came under the direct attack of Israel, that is another direct NATO ally of America. So there they raised an alarm. They stated that it's time for us to create a group, right? So this strike sent smoke over a US allied capital that also hosts the Washington's largest, remember, largest regional air base. That is, obviously a big thing for them, right? So as you can see, the largest air base here, where in Qatar. So as you can see, this movement revived long dormant discussions of NATO-style alliance by the Muslim states. And for example, at a Doha summit on 15 September, Masoud Pezeshkian, the president of Iran, condemned the Israeli attack and asserted the need for a pan-Islamic bloc. Furthermore, well, before we move, remember, for our serious UPSC CSE aspirants, serious one obviously, for not the non-serious ones, target year 2027, you want to call yourself, refer yourself as an IS or IPS or IFS of 2027 batch. So looking for the proper skills, proper information, knowledge, teaching, test series, books, notes, PDFs, etc. So yes, here you are at the right place. We have got for you the Diwali extended sale, okay, that is about to end on 31st of October. Guys, we have got for you our resolution plus batches, that is GS Foundation P2I, basically prelims to mains to interview batch, okay, commencing from the very same date, that is 31st of October. Whether looking for the purely English medium batch, purely Hindi medium batch, or the mixture of both, that is Hindi and English, don't worry, we have got you covered. This batch will provide you 1000 plus hours of live lectures. In case you miss them, don't worry, we have got you the access to recorded lectures. 18 sets of printed books will be sent to you at your doorstep. As in, you don't have to go anywhere to collect them. The very same subscription, this was the knowledge enhancement part, the very same subscription, let's talk about the knowledge assessment part, will provide you the prelims test series, the mains test series, the interview guidance program. Basically 75 plus tests for your prelims, 15 plus tests for your mains, and multiple mock interviews for your personality test as well will be given to you in just one single subscription. So how to avail this subscription at the cheapest price, at the highest discounted price? Stay tuned, we'll discuss this at the end of the session. Right? Let's talk about the basis, the very first nail into the coffin, of Islamic NATO. So here we go. The several concrete proposals were mentioned after this Israeli strike in the capital city, that is Doha. So a joint Arab military command to be made and headquartered in the capital city of Egypt, that is Cairo. Next, a task force to monitor Israeli activity and prepare deterrent and offensive strategies, with Pakistan putting this forward. खाने को दाल रोटी है नहीं, Islamic NATO बनाएंगे. Next, cooperative air defense systems. Simply speaking, possibly integrating Turkish and Pakistani systems again. Na kare janab, na kare paijan. What they are thinking, radar, It's not radar. It's just some outdated material. I don't know what it is, even if it is working or not. And with that, they claim that they have downed our 6 Rafales and our S-400 system. Idiots. Don't feel sad if someone, says you that you are not so worthy. Just relax. Tell them there is a anti-terrorist squad in this terror-ridden, terrorist-headquartered state, Pakistan. Right? So you see this guy here, another idiot. Okay, sari umr mein joker banaya fira. Okay, so this guy, okay, went firstly to Saudi demanding some loan. And after being bashed and being humiliated with some great level of humiliating contract theory, right, he got some money and now he's signing a deal with the Crown Prince that is known as Pakistan-Saudi defense deal. The one who is the product of terrorism. The one who is the product of all anti-national activities is the so-called president of a so-called failed terrorist state known as Pakistan. Okay. So what the deal stated? So the deal was signed on September 17, 2025 between Pakistan and Saudi. Okay, popularly it is termed as the Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement. Oh, paise mangega bhi aake. Okay, so where it was signed in Riyadh. Okay, so as per the deal, the key pledge, any aggression against either of the country shall be considered an aggression against both. Chalo, achhi baat hai. And the pact covers defense, okay, let's say cooperation, very well. But the third one, from there, are they going to provide training? Are they having resources? Intelligence sharing, intelligence from Pakistan. क्या लश्कर अल-कायदा के टेररिस्ट को बैठाकर इंटेलिजेंस शेयर नहीं होता? Okay, exercises. What exercises? How to blast the bomb, and aims to strengthen joint deterrence against the threats. Simply foolish idiots, knave, grave personalities, right? So these Pakistani people will put the last nail into the coffin of Islamic NATO, I'm telling you. Okay, they are good for literally nothing. They are good for just bombing the places and spreading terrorism and spreading the hatred against Islam. So I urge all these Islamic states, if they are listening to me, just eliminate this country like Pakistan, and the hatred, the term that is Islamophobia will be eliminated throughout the globe all at once. Just eliminate this idiot first of all. Okay, this guy. Kuch na ho sakta hai inka. Okay guys, so I hope you have understood about Islamophobia as well as the Islamic NATO and Pakistan-Saudi defense deal. Let us know your opinion. What's your opinion on this? How do you see Islamic NATO and this Pakistan-Saudi defense deal? Okay, suddenly why Saudi is so much tilted towards Pakistan? There is something fishy. And what's that? We shall be discussing in our very next session of StudyIQ Global. So guys, hit the subscribe button and never miss an update from it. And now coming to the point that how you can subscribe with our Resolution Plus batches commencing from 31st of October in the cheapest and discounted price. So the price is 18,999, right? No worries. Use this promo code PRV Live that is also scrolling down on your screens. So use this promo code guys, once again PRV Live, and the moment you have applied this code, you will enjoy the maximum discount on your subscription. Right everyone? So please remember, you need to subscribe on or before 31st of October. Right? And yes, hit the subscribe button of the channel once again, and you can just scan this QR code and connect with me on my Telegram. And here is my Instagram account as well, Praveen Mishra _2107. Right everyone? So hit the subscribe button and never miss an update from it. Thank you so much for joining. Bye bye. Good day. Take care. See you soon. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.